welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about things that kind of like moved me forward in my life, in my career, and I hope that someone will find it helpful. I am a strong believer that you have to work with your mindset. This list of things that I'm going to talk about is that, like, working with your mindset and doing things right for yourself first of all. I was off to change an angle a little bit, but hopefully you don't mind. I'm just learning how to do it properly. Anyways, let's move on with the video. Since very young age, I was traveling with high-speed telegraphy, and I was always known as this like independent kid and everything. I was very responsible from early ages, so therefore, this independence piece was there. Moving to another country at the age of 17, moved it to the next level. Be independent, try to cultivate it in yourself. Again, very early on, I knew what I want. I knew where I'm going with my life. I set goals, I achieved them. I was also never afraid to go against odds. Obviously, it was uncomfortable at certain instances, but at the same time, even moving abroad, Belarus is the country I love. Disclaimer, I love my country, but the progress there comes later. When I was moving abroad, there were few who were considering it. I was like that one kid from the entire Lyceum who decided to, level up my game. And the second thing that I can think of is when we were students, everyone was partying. I was working out, I was in my own world per se. I knew what I want, and I knew that I set my standards high and I set my goals high, so therefore I didn't waste time. Obviously, I was partying once in a while. I think that now I can enjoy it to the fullest, all of these like parties, because I know people already. I am happy to be with those people. Back then it was just non-value add. Don't be afraid to look different or be kind of like an outsider to a certain extent, because it will eventually, if you know where you're moving with your life, it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't necessarily matter what others will think of you. I was constantly trying to put myself outside of my comfort zone. With my jobs, I was changing and I was trying to blend in with new environments and things like that. And also at the same time, when everything was already too familiar, I was trying to find a new challenge. Like, for example, I was always going to gym, and then I decided that why don't I try running, and then I started running, and now like in a week I am going to do my first half marathon and things like that. Something that scares you the most is probably the right thing for you to do, so that you try it and you know whether it works for you or not. But the most important thing is that you try and you put yourself outside of the comfort zone. Even now I feel like when, for example, I'm among people that I barely know, I struggle to feel comfortable for some time, but then once I do feel comfortable, I'm unstoppable there. I know that I can easily find this like connection with people, but it takes time for me. So this is one of the things that I'm trying to do currently as well. I'm trying to be in this like unfamiliar circles. I try to talk to different people from different backgrounds. I am a part of this like global shapers community, and I love it because it puts me outside of my comfort zone. And this is one of the things that kind of pushes your limits. Next thing is related to money. I was always, I don't remember the word, but basically very careful with money. I was always living below my means. Even when I could have afforded something, I was, I had a goal. I wanted to buy a flat, so therefore everything extra was going towards that goal. There will be always a moment when you can relax. I can tell you that 100%. When your financial needs are covered, like housing, living expenses, and like all of these main things, then you can relax and you can kind of, spend extra $1 or $2 here and there, and you don't necessarily care much about it. But living below your means is crucial, I think, especially if you are trying to get to this high standards living. I saw lots of examples around me of people who weren't necessarily like thinking ahead, and I was always like, ding, 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 I know what I'm gonna do next and like what I want from my life and things like that. And it kind of like this living below my means helped me a lot. I feel fairly good about my life currently. Not that I'm living a lavish lifestyle, but it's very decent. For my age, it's very decent. Next one, cultivating confidence. This is a process. I cannot say that I'm 100% confident, even though on the surface I always show off this like maybe confident vibe. Hopefully I'm trying hard. It's something that you have to work on. there are also days when I don't feel confident, or there are things about my skin or my hair, and like I gained a kilo, I lost a kilo, and all of that obviously influence my confidence level. Let's consider all of those things that I have already accomplished. This one will not be different. Yes, today I don't feel good about it, but tomorrow is a new day. Next one is quick. Talent is overrated, and I feel like it's an understatement. I feel like there are so many people who are creative, talented, and all of that, and they're just doing nothing with it. And then there are people like me. I don't necessarily think that I'm talented in any areas of my life. I'm very stubborn, yes. I have a growing mindset, yes, but these are not things that make me talented. You can go much farther if you have this perseverance, you have your discipline. I'm always confused on what's the pronunciation there. One more thing is leveling up. This is something that I was doing, and finally I don't need this notebook anymore. I was trying to level up in my career all the time. I was leveling up with my skills. I was learning something new. I was always curious. I was staying on top of things. I am a control freak to a certain extent, but recently I started realizing that I cannot control everything, unfortunately. I would love to, but I can't. Leveling up with your physique, mental health, spiritual well-being. This is something that you can influence. I think I was talking here for 20 minutes. I will make it short and crisp. I will definitely continue with kind of putting down my insights. Lately I'm reading a lot, listening to like podcasts, books, and I feel like it's very valid to share it with you and also see how it works for myself, and then also maybe hopefully someone will find it useful for themselves. Anyways, thank you for being here today. I really appreciate you dedicating time to it, and see you in my next video.